Good day, brothers and sisters in Christ. I welcome you to our Sunday reflection for the 18th Sunday of Year A. The theme of our reflection is Scarcity Amid Abundance. You give them something to eat. Matthew chapter 14, verse 16. Alone is a survival competition series on the History Channel. Contestants self-record their daily struggles as they survive alone in the wilderness with limited equipment. Except for medical check-ins, participants are isolated from others. They may withdraw from the competition at any time or be removed if they fail a medical check-in. The contestant who remains the longest wins the grand prize of $1 million. In a notable season, contestant Dave Nessia survived 73 days in the harsh climate of Patagonia. Unfortunately, doctors forced him to evacuate because he had lost 40 pounds with his blood pressure dangerously low. He was in advanced starvation. The irony? Dave had successfully hunted and accumulated 33 dried fish fillet hanging in his shelter. Yet, driven by an intense fear of the upcoming winter, he preferred to starve. Our readings present a reality that stands in stark contrast to our sense of scarcity, the overwhelming generosity of God. In the first reading, Isaiah states that God does not sell his grace, but bestows it. He invites us to stop chasing what cannot satisfy and to rest in the fullness of God's care. In the gospel reading, even though he was mourning the death of his cousin, Jesus did not respond with frustration or demand privacy when he saw the crowd. He responded generously to them. He healed and taught, and when the disciples asked him to send the crowd away to forage for food, he told them to feed them. The experience of God's generosity must have motivated Paul to ask whether anything could separate us from the love of God revealed to us in Jesus. If God is generous and we are created in his image and likeness, why do we, like Dave, choose scarcity? One of the results of the fall is that we fail to recognize our capacity as spiritual beings and view our lives entirely through material lens. We are hardly able to rise beyond the longing for the fulfillment of our basic needs, and therefore we live constantly in fear. This attitude creates a culture of fear that constantly reminds us to hold on to what we have and to keep acquiring for the future. We see this in advertisements, which continually reminds us of what we lack, telling us we need more money, more status, more or newer things to finally be satisfied. Generosity has no place in such an environment. We do not need abundant resources to be generous. That is the lesson Jesus taught his disciples. He asks us to surrender the little we have. When we place our small acts of service, our limited talents, our imperfect time, and our vulnerable hearts into his hands, Jesus blesses, breaks, and transforms them. From the disciples' meager resources, Jesus fed a multitude with plenty left over. We can be generous even with scarce resources. Unfortunately, scarcity blurs our vision. According to Rutger Bregman, and I quote, "Scarcity narrows your focus to your immediate lack, to the meeting that is starting in 5 minutes, or the bills that need to be paid tomorrow. The long-term perspective goes out of the window. Scarcity consumes you. You are less able to focus on other important things that are also important to you." End of quote. Generosity is about how we perceive ourselves rather than what we have. Jesus saw himself as the instrument of God's abundance, while his disciples allowed their lack to consume them. We must never let scarcity consume us to the point that we forget our spiritual nature. So this week, I invite you to do the following. Each day, write down one experience that expresses God's generosity for you. Secondly, consider what contribution God is asking you to make to address the needs around you. Do not hold back out of fear that it is too small. Trust Jesus to perform a miracle and multiply your meager resources. May God bless you all.